All right, guys. Got everyone? Good to go? All right. Medical. Okay, so our did not practice are going to be Radunes and Chase Young. Okay, our limited guys are going to be Tolly, Trey, and Devon Vele. And then full participant guys, but they'll be on there's Cam Jordan and Trevor Penning. So those are our medical situations. Other than that, good practice, good day, and I'll just open up for questions.
We just saw the information as well about Hunter Decker. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened with him?
Yeah, he was just practicing last week. We finally got him practicing and going and all that good stuff. And just, a shoulder thing came up. And so, we just got to navigate it the best we can and try and, still, do what we can to help him develop.
Sorry. Vele, Falaga, who was the other one?
Oh, yeah, on the limited. Tolly, Trey Palmer, Devon Vele.
What is Cam doing today?
Just a groin. But he practiced. He was full.
Were there more officials, like in terms of the numbers out there? Or do you normally have 6 at practice, or is it?
It has varied from day to day, but usually there's at least 5 to 7. So, yeah. That's a good question.
The last couple of days at practice, following Sunday, how have you guys responded, and how's everyone?
Yeah, I feel like it's been good. Our guys have, head down, back to work. The energy's been good. I think our guys had a really good practice today. Obviously, there's a lot of growth opportunities for us, and we're excited to keep navigating and keep moving.
How much would you attribute those pre-snap penalties that you guys have been having the first 2 games to the fact that you haven't had your, the starting offensive line that you wanted to go going into the season?
And we can go down a couple rabbit holes with the pre-snap thing. I think obviously we're excited as we continue to develop. The more and more likelihood that 5 that we originally started the offseason with will be all together, and hopefully some continuity can be created because of that. And so we feel really special about that group. We're excited about that group from a pre-snap penalty. Most of it's on an individual basis. We can control what we can control, and obviously we got to do better there.
How did the penalties go in practice today? Were there a lot of penalties?
Yeah, we had. Give you the numbers. We had 3, and 3 were on scout team. So, so that was the way it played out. But I think we're just continuing to try and grow, trying to get better. I think our guys have put a lot of awareness to it this week, and there's a lot of accountability that's going to be associated with that.
Is it a normal thing to track penalties in practice, or is it just kind of when you're focusing on it?
We usually do. Anytime officials are there, they always, we want to make sure our guys are able to grow from each opportunity. And so it's great for our guys to get the feedback. And, there's a couple in there that obviously we can improve on.
Kellen, I know it seems like it should go without saying that Spencer Rattler doesn't have to look over his shoulder or press or anything, but is it important for you to let him know that he doesn't have to, so he doesn't press or try to force the issue? Or
yeah, Spence has been phenomenal, I think, as far as just the way his preparation and the way he's gone about this thing. I thought he's played certainly plenty of good football the first 3 weeks. He's put us in positions. He's competed his tail off. He's done a lot of good things. And so I have a lot of confidence in Spence. He's doing a great job. Our younger quarterbacks are developing at a really good rate as well. And so we just feel really good about where that room's going from a developmental standpoint. It's a younger group, but, Spence is leading the way and doing a really good job out there.
But I just mean the climate of it. We've seen quarterback change already in one city and stuff is that something you feel it needs to be addressed?
I mean, Spence and I talk plenty. I don't think we have to get into that. I mean, I think he realizes how much confidence we have in him. I think he's playing a lot of good ball, and I think he understands the opportunities ahead of him.
How much do you have to make sure you have that message, and then kind of on the pressing issue, to tell that team not to press when you're in an 0-3 start, when things haven't gone right? And I know there may be a tendency for a person to kind of do a little bit more than they should. How much do you have to kind of for you to give that message, hey, we've got to still focus, today and tomorrow, that's
Yeah, we've missed 3 opportunities. That's what's been defined so far in our season, and so we got a lot of opportunities ahead of ourselves. I think our guys have the right focus. It really comes down to focus. It's not a time to panic and shift gears or completely flip the whole schedule around just to do that. This is about focus, details, getting better, and putting ourselves in a really good position. Because the first 2 weeks we felt like we were right there. We competed at a really high level. I loved the way we played. We came up short, but we competed and we were right there. And the third one got away from us, and that can be really frustrating for everyone. It could be a big letdown, but we got opportunities ahead of ourselves, and we got a really good football team this Sunday, and so we're excited about the opportunity.
I think Brian has had several instances this year where he's getting to the quarterback and just not getting to the ground and having his Darnley? Is there a coaching point there, or is it just, attack the guy?
Yeah, there's probably a couple, discussions that he's had with, Bo and those guys, and so he's close on him. And yeah, you're close. You are knocking at the door. We just got to get the door opened, and so to speak. And so he's right there. He's got to finish a couple plays, and those have game-changing impact on him. And so he's doing a lot of good. We just got to get the finish out of it.
How do you, just following up on some of the Spencer questions, is it tough to reconcile the fact that winning and losing is the most important thing, but you're talking about a young person at a very important position that you want to develop, so you do have to maybe, I don't say grade it on a curve, but wrestle with it a little bit.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we're all, the win-loss is what we're ultimately graded on, and certainly, coaching and quarterbacks tend to, carry that record very strongly, and so that's just the way this thing works. We all get it. I think Spence has done a lot of good. I think, he's heading in the right direction. I think, there's a lot of other factors in that game that, we got to clean up and put ourselves in better position. And so, it's frustrating because Spence hasn't been able to get a win in this league, and he's earned it, and he deserves it, and he's done so much good. And so, we got to all rally together, focus on our individual task, and we'll get that thing done sooner rather than later.
Where does the win-loss clock for him start for you as part of that evaluation? Do you consider from last year, or do you really start it from your time with him starting this year?
I mean, I wasn't a part of last year. I think, we've missed 3 opportunities this year, and that's really the focus of it. Again, Spence has been doing some really good things.
Now that you've gotten into the Buffalo film, I mean, obviously, I think you all watch the games too, but like, how talented are they when you start breaking that? And I think, obviously, exceptionally talented, just your opinion.
They're a really good football team. Josh is obviously the MVP for a reason in this league. He's playing phenomenal football, and I think the one big thing you see is just how connected all 3 phases are. They're just very complementary of each other. They get leads, they hold on to it. The defense gets to rush the passer, create turnovers. Special teams does a good job. Even the Baltimore game, they get down. The defense is able to create some turnovers and then get the ball back for them late, and they're able to score. And so they're playing really well connected. They've won the turnover ratio 25 straight games, I believe it is. When teams win the turnover ratio, there's a high likelihood they're going to win football games, and so they're doing a heck of a job with that.
About your plan to develop players, how was Quincy Riley's snaps last Sunday kind of reflective of that, or was that the plan to get him in there eventually, or did you see something from him?
We went into last week anticipating trying to get him some reps. Certainly, I thought there was some value in that. He's done a lot of good things for us. Different guys. Vern got more reps the week before, and unfortunately the injury occurred. And so a lot of these guys have different timelines, and we're trying to get as many exposures as we can for those young guys in particular, because these are long seasons. A lot of guys are going to play. I thought Quincy went in there and did some good things.
In that group as well, I think it was the first third down when you had the.
Yeah. Going into last week, he kind of, we kind of got into it. He earned a role in a specific way on third down, and he was able to hop in there. And so we're just trying to create different matchups and different opportunities. We got to generate some rush. We got to generate some turnovers on defense, and certain guys are, we're playing with different opportunities.
What sticks out to you the most about Josh Allen? You said he's MVP for a reason, but from a defense standpoint, from seeing his mechanics and whatnot, what do you think is the most dangerous thing about him?
I think he's playing really clean football. He's just excellent in the progression game of just getting completions. He just gets completions at a really high level. The game feels very calm to him. And then when it gets off schedule, that's when he uses his legs, and he doesn't use them just to use them. All of a sudden everything gets matched out, and now he's out there, playing off schedule and making some phenomenal plays. So that's the challenge for us, is we got to do an excellent job on the first phase of the play, match things up, contest, all that good stuff. And then there's this second phase where the rush has to keep coming, the pressure has to keep coming. We still have to cover these guys in an extended period of time, because that's where he's made some explosive plays that change games.
I think we asked this Sunday, just from a season-long lens. What do you make of just kind of the lack of explosives?
Yeah.
Only one play 25 plus in the passing game.
Yeah, we got to generate more. We got to have more opportunities in it. I think that's the biggest thing. We got to be able to play more mixed down football to get opportunities downfield. Obviously, Seattle was able to get to the point where they could play much more on top of everything with that much of a lead, and so it was a challenge. And so we have to create more explosives in the run game and in the pass game, both opportunities.
Has it been kind of the case of that, not the lack of trying though? Just there've been opportunities there.
Yeah, we've had opportunities. We've not accomplished them. we could try, we got to create more opportunities for ourselves. And I think that comes down to being in better situational football and allowing yourself to be aggressive in those situations.
You said there's something that he's going to deal with. Just to clarify, is that the kind of thing that if you chose to shut him down for a while, fully heal, or is that like a will always kind of deal with?
That's a great question. I think he's just in a maintenance stage now, just as far as taking it, having a really good plan each and every week to put yourself in a really good position to be able to play on Sundays. And so, I thought he went out in practice. He was limited today, but he did a bunch of really good things. And so, we'll see how all that progresses. But I think it's him getting into that routine week in and week out that is going to allow him to continue to play.
Movements do you want to see offensively, from this team?
Yeah, for us, it's just playing cleaner football and allowing ourselves to play more mixed downs. If there's too much little moments of success but not enough consistency to create that, and so we got to play cleaner. And if we play cleaner, that's going to allow us to run the football, get more rushing attempts for Alvin and those guys, create more explosive plays downfield in the play action game and in the drop back game, and not play as many situations where you're playing behind.
Is Chase close to practice?
Yeah, Chase is close. Yeah, he's progressing, and these injuries, again, we always try and put a timeline on these, and I think that's always the thing we have to be careful of is these things take different timelines, they take different experiences, and so he's doing everything he can, and we'll see how it progresses this week.
Dale was at practice today. Just what was, besides chatting around quite a bit?
Oh, yeah. No, Mrs. Benson's awesome. She likes to pop in, during practice on occasion, and so it's always fun to see her. She does so many awesome things, just supporting us in every possible way she can, and you can't ask for a better situation.
How did she react to a loss like Sundays?
No, she cares. She cares about I think the special thing is she cares deeply about the emotions of the players and the coaches, and everyone puts so much work into it. And for it to, go the way it did on Sunday, there's an emotional toll that kind of goes into each player and each person that's a part of it. And, her support and her appreciation for everything that everyone's doing, while understanding, we got to find ways to find solutions and get better. And she's right there with us, though, which is awesome.
I know last week or the week before, I apologize, Spencer was asked about the offense, and he used a basketball term. He said that, I guess you and Nuss say, like three-pointers or layups. Mm-hmm. Is that just a teaching tool, or are you like a basketball fan? Because like Joe Dumars was in here talking about the uniqueness of your campus and being a huge football fan, and he references a lot of football for basketball.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I love basketball. I'm a big basketball guy, but we're always looking for different references, different experiences to kind of explain the thought process. And so from a pass game perspective, I think a lot of us kind of get into this. There's three-pointers, there's shots downfield, and we got to get more three-pointers. It's the explosive plays we're just talking about. But when they're not there, these checkdowns and these easy completions, the layup opportunities are just awesome ways to keep moving the football downfield. And so you're always looking for different ways just to kind of explain things to the quarterbacks. And so, sometimes certain ways will catch their attention, and maybe they grasp that idea a little bit better than others.
Is Josh Allen like one of them guys where like tendency doesn't matter? Because like his last 264 passes outside of the pocket, 200 to the right. Like, does it matter that exists because he is who he is, or like do you try to cheat towards that, or?
Yeah, there's everyone's going to have tendencies. I think that's the thing about this league is everyone's going to have a little bit of tendencies, and the best teams have tendencies because they're really good at certain things. And so what Josh does off schedule and out of the pocket is really special. Certainly his ability to play to the right, and he's a right-handed quarterback, and he's able to keep the pass game alive and really create these explosive plays. He puts people in conflict that late into the into the play.
James Cook out of the backfield, one of the better zone runners in the NFL, does a lot on cutback situations. How do you go about sort of creating that discipline in the run game to try to avoid that?
Yeah, well, this run game is going really, really well. They're doing a phenomenal job of running the football, and then it puts them in all these advantageous pass game situations. And, that's the conflict that you're in. You got to do a really good job of stopping the run, avoid those big explosive cutbacks, like you said, or the ability to bounce in some of the run plays where they can bounce and get out to the DBs. And so he has great vision. He has great suddenness. Once he sees something and identifies it, makes that cut. And so it'll be a challenge for us to, really, focus on that run game and, not create that challenge for us.
I know that the game situation went a certain way up against Seattle on Sunday, but what did you like in the second half of the run defense that could translate to Sunday against the Bills?
Yeah, I thought overall, for the most part, the entire game, I felt like we had a really good run defensive plan. I thought our guys executed really well. starting with the defense line, I felt like we got some penetration, we got some movement. Backers were able to play over the top because they were under control, and so even the back end, I thought we took a step as far as fitting some of these runs. Quincy with the big play, some of the safety play, Jay Reed and those guys getting involved, and so that's a critical aspect of this thing is we got to be able to stop the run. That goes into each and every week. Each and every week, you got to really start there and then work your way to all the other components.
The false start on Chris early last week, is that, I'm just trying from a technical perspective, like, do you want him to stay in motion because if he becomes set, he has to be set for a certain amount of time? And is that more of like a timing issue with the snap?
Yeah, it just got a little antsy. He's motioning outward, and so the ball is inward. He's going to motion. We're going to try and square up, get eyes to the ball so we can see a snap and then go. And so as he looked towards the ball, he got a little bit nosy, and the momentum kind of leaned him forward a little bit, and so we got a penalty out of it, which was.
In that environment because you're going silent and the timing is that more difficult to get right in that environment?
There's potentially, yeah. Obviously, the rhythm of being on the road is always a little bit different than being at home, where you can use your vocal cadence every single play.
You were talking to Gail. Like, is it during that portion like you just trust your assistants to handle everything, or like did it take you away from anything you were planning?
No, we're good. No.
You were mentioning just the flexible timelines of injuries. Like, with that being said, like, is there any regret now that Chase didn't go on IR whenever the injury happened, or was it just kind of that close with the initial timeline?
Yeah, no, I don't think we have any regret. I think the timeline is always something you just got to stay flexible on. We've had plenty of flexibility within our roster. We've to manage the ups and downs on the 53-man roster, and so we've had plenty of flexibility to still give ourselves the depth and the roster moves that we need.
The focus for y'all, I know it's early in the week, but just in terms of addressing some of the special teams challenges from last game, how do you kind of go about that process?
Yeah, we just go through it, starting with, the way we meet, clean that up, put ourselves in, add a little time there, and then, practice. I think just, being really focused and detailed on, all the different items that we need to hit. And so, I thought our guys have responded really well. I think we're going to put ourselves in a really good position, and I have a lot of confidence in those guys being able to respond the right way. So, okay, thanks, guys.